Hello friends, it's Danielle with Take Care Mama, and today I'm going to talk about the books I plan to read in February. Happy February, we made it, month 2 in a new year. I have 8 books to talk about. Last month I planned to read 6 and I thought that was really ambitious and I ended up reading 8. Now February is shorter, but I am going on vacation, so I feel like I'll get some more reading done, and 3 of them are audiobooks. I think I'm gonna do it, but it's okay if I don't. So I'll just start with one of them that actually I've already started. That's another reason why I think I can finish, and that is Stephen King's Green Mile. So I didn't know a ton about this, but I do now because I'm a good ways through it. This book takes place in the 30s in the Depression era, and the main character is a guard in what is essentially a death row situation. So he sees a lot of criminals and puts a lot of them to death via electric chair, which is just, oh, it's really hard to read. And there's a little bit of magic in this book. There is a mouse, which I did not expect. That's a bit magical. And then I think the main point of this book is following this man named John Coffey, who has been arrested and sentenced to death for killing and raping 2 young girls. And maybe he's a little magic too. And I'm very excited to see the movie. I didn't know anything about this. I think I'm maybe in a minority because I know it's a popular book, and the movie was very well received. Tom Hanks is in it, but I didn't even really know what it was about. And I really hope to watch the movie when I'm done with this. Let's see, these aren't in any particular order, but we have An American Marriage. I chose this because I really love Elizabeth Gilbert, and she's doing a little book club on her Instagram, I think is the main medium. And this is her pick for February. What I know about this is it's a young couple is married and they are Black, and the man is wrongly accused of a crime and is sent to prison, and what that does to his family. Let me know if you've read this. I will link all the books below. Okay, next is The Silent Patient. I think I'm going to read this next when I finish The Green Mile. This was, I think, a 2019 book, and it got a lot of attention. I've been putting it off. I said on my Instagram, I think this cover is super ugly and I'm really judgy, but people really like it. So I'm gonna not judge a book by its cover and get into it. It is a mystery thriller about, and I could be wrong, a woman who has killed her husband. We're pretty sure kills her husband. I'm not trying to be mysterious. I think she did, but I'm not sure. And she's put into like a mental hospital, and she hasn't spoken a word since her husband's death, and we try to figure out what really happened. My sister was reading this last time she came to visit, and she really liked it, and I'm excited for a good thriller. Also ugly cover, in my humble opinion, is Specimen Days by Michael Cunningham. I read The Hours in high school, just probably showing my age, and it is my favorite movie, the movie adaptation of The Hours. I really like Michael Cunningham. The Hours, again, I read in high school, and that was really the first book that I kind of chose on my own that was outside of what I was supposed to be reading. I grew up in a very conservative family. I went to Christian high school, and I think today people wouldn't blink at The Hours, but for me at that time, it was a little racy. It dealt with a lot of dark things that I was probably sheltered from. It dealt with lesbians, and I loved it. And I rewatched the movie last week, and I'm like, oh, I remember how I felt as I was reading this, and it really made me fall in love with stories that I liked. It was the first story that I chose that was a little off the beaten path, and I loved it. So I don't know anything about this, but I do know that, like in The Hours, there are 3 different story threads going on. and I think one of them is like a futuristic science fiction-y thread. I'm not sure. I think I mentioned I'm going on vacation, and the other Michael Cunninghams that I've read have all been on vacation, so I kind of want to keep that tradition going and maybe start this on the airplane. Between the World and Me by Tahani Coates is an audiobook that I have waiting for me. I really like audiobooks for nonfiction, and it's nonfiction. It is a love letter to his son talking about the Black experience in America. And he also has a really popular novel, something about water, that I would really like to read as well. Yeah, let me know if you are familiar with that author. I know he's really popular. Also on audiobook is Untamed. I love Glennon on Instagram. I'm actually pretty well through this as well. And I picked this up when it first came out and I loved it, but I don't know why I didn't finish it before I needed to return it from the library. And I got it as an audio copy now, and I really recommend it as an audiobook or a book. I love them both, but it is so good. I love it. I already can tell it's going to be a 5-star rating from me. We have The Woman in the Window. This is another really popular mystery thriller that I've heard a lot about. It's about a woman who is kind of nosy, I think, and sits at home, drinks too much wine, and spies on her neighbors through her window and maybe sees something she isn't supposed to see. That's really all I know, and on first blush, it a little bit reminds me of A Girl on the Train, which I really liked. And so I'm excited about this one. I found this one at Goodwill for $1.50. And we're gonna read it in the month of February. Lastly is another audiobook, but it's fiction, which worries me a little bit. I don't love listening to fiction, but I wanna read it this month because it's part of another book club by Kayla from Books and Lala. What is her book club called? The Literally Dead Book Club. And it is When No One Is Watching. And the audiobook is available for my library, but the print copy is gonna take a few months. So I'm going to listen to it. It is a book about a person in a neighborhood, and gentrification is taking place. So all of her neighbors are moving to the suburbs. And then I think she finds out that maybe it's not that simple and something nefarious is going on. Like maybe I don't know, maybe they're being murdered instead of moving to the suburbs. I'm not sure. Again, mystery thriller, and I'm really excited about that one as well. And we will see how I do with a fiction on audio. So there are my books that I'm going to hopefully read in February. I'd love to know what you are reading right now or what is in your TBR list. I'd love to connect with you over on Instagram at takecaremama, and Goodreads, same name. Have a wonderful day and take care. Bye guys.